here, we're gonna do a little bit of standing warm up and then into like a flow to mat work. All right, so we're just gonna start with our feet sits bones width apart, taking a deep knee bend, reaching the arms forward and then lengthening out. Chest is lifted, pressing down through the center of the feet, so feel the weight at the big toe, the fourth or fifth toe, and the center of the heel, working through those inner thighs even though those legs are slightly apart. Big fold at the hips, knees, and ankles. Last two. And one, and then we're gonna not move the hips and just fold at the knees, little plie. So knees track forward, feeling a little bit more work through the front of the calf area. Just keeping those hips quiet, knees track forward, and again, pressing through the feet equally. Last two. And one, holding here. Reach your arms up, shrug the shoulders up, anchor the shoulders down the back, and release the arms. And again, arms up, reach up, anchor down, and lower. Let's add that knee bend. And up. Keeping those shoulders down the back. Last two. And one. And here we're just going to swivel those heels together into our Pilates feet. Reach your arms out. Squeeze the back of those legs together. Pressing the hips forward and open. Rotate to the right. And left. And left. One more each side. And left. And then we're going to bring the arms up overhead, going into a hip stretch. So reaching the hip to the side, upper body's just counterbalancing, and then reach up to come up, giving those shoulders, keeping them down, working through the lats. Open through the hip. So feel a stretch through that side body, reach that hip, and then pulling up from your obliques and reach. Use your inner thighs to help you with your balance. Challenge yourself going as far as you can, and lifting up, and reach. One more each side, up and over, and think reach out to come up and over, and reach out to come up, and then lower those arms down. We're just going to rotate those feet to parallel, so now they're together. Just going to roll through the feet like a little walk. Pressing the ball of the feet into the floor, and then press that heel to the floor. Right heel lifts, feet together and left. And together and right and left, together and pause. We're going to add on. You're going to point through the foot, lift it up off the floor, then touch the floor with the ball of the foot, and then lower the heel, and then point through the foot, lift the thigh, lower to the ball of the foot, lower the heel, ball of the foot, lift, use your core, and together, and ball of the foot, point through the foot, lift the thigh, ball of the foot, and together. One more each side. Ball of the foot, together, and left. And good job. All right, so we're going to open out to a Pilates second position, wide stance. Plie forward. Add those arms if you'd like. You can just place your hands on the hips. However you like to use those arms. One more, and good job. We're just going to walk those feet together. All right, we're going to come to the front end of your mat, lift those arms up, and then peeling away from an imaginary wall, reaching all the way to the floor. You can soften those knees if needed, scoop up through the belly, and then pulse towards the floor. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and touch the floor, lift the heels, and lower. So again, you can bend those knees if needed and lift the heels, or try to keep them straight. Lift from the belly, keeping those shoulders down, collarbones nice and wide. One more lift and lower, and then we'll lift, bend into your Pilates ball, and pulse it here. Last 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we'll lower, sit off to one side, and bring those legs out in front of you. All right, we're reaching your arms forward. Take a little contract back, sacrum to the mat, and then lift all the way back up. And scoop from the belly, and then lift all the way up. And roll back. Just feel that sacrum on the mat, right at the top of those hip bones, and then lift all the way, feeling those sits bones. Squeeze through those inner thighs. Helps with that pelvic floor connection. Rolling away from the thighs, and all the way up. One more. Roll away, all the way up. And then I'm going to roll all the way down to the floor. Bringing your feet close to you, arms by your side. All right, going into the hundreds, lift your right leg up to tabletop and then your left. You can keep your head and shoulders down off the mat. Otherwise, we'll curl the head and shoulders up, reaching beyond your thighs. Pulse those arms. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Lengthen the legs. Lower. Keep curling and reaching. Lower a little bit more. Last time, lower. Last set. Knees in and resting down. Nice little warm up. Roll your chin from side to side. All right, from here, just going to grab onto the back of the thighs. Let the weight of the legs pull you forward. And then reach all the way tall. And then again, we're going to draw the knees in, grab onto the back of the thighs, and slowly roll all the way down. Reach your arms up overhead. Circle the arms, grab onto the back of the thighs, curl your head and shoulders up, and then let the weight of the legs pull you up, lengthening the legs, and then stretch over those toes. We start to roll back away from the thighs, draw the knees in as you continue to slowly roll down using control. Arms lift overhead. Keep those ribs in, don't let them pop up off the mat, so draw those ribs in and down. Circle the arms, grab onto the back of the thighs as you curl up, grab on, let the weight of the legs help to roll you up and all the way forward. And then again, start to roll away from the thighs. Think of little wheels here at your hips. And then draw the knees in after that waistline hits. And then arms up overhead, keeping the ribs in. One more, circle the arms, grab onto the back of the thighs. Let the weight of those legs peel you off the floor, reach forward. And then you're gonna roll all the way down, keeping the legs straight on the mat. Nice and controlled. Okay, from here going into our single leg circle. So right knee is gonna come in, lengthen that leg up to the ceiling, flex your left foot, and then we're gonna go across the body, down, around, and left, and across, around and left, across, around and left. Last one, around and left, reverse out, down, around and left, out, around and left, out, around and left. One more. Knee comes in, give it a little pull, and then lengthen it out onto the floor. Left knee comes in, lengthen up to the ceiling, flex that right foot, and then again across the body, around and up. Keeping your pelvis as stable as you can, working through your core, sinking that femur into the hip socket. Again, always bend the knee if needed, and then out to the side, but really try to challenge yourself. Contract your quad to get your leg as straight as you can. Last two, and one, and then we'll draw that knee in. Again, give it a little pull. Reach your arms out or sorry, reach your legs out, reach your arms up to the ceiling, curl the head and shoulders, and then again grab onto the thighs and roll yourself all the way up, reaching forward. And then we'll lift up nice and tall. All right, so from here, we're gonna draw the right knee in. You're gonna roll down just to the shoulder tips and then let that left leg float up. So inside hand comes from the knee, outside hand to the ankle. And then you're gonna switch. You're gonna use this pull to help you with that curl, keeping all the tension out of your neck and shoulders. Again, if your neck gets tired, just lower your head and shoulders down. Right and left. Breathe into that upper back. Sink the belly in those exhales. One more left. Both knees in, going into double leg stretch. Arms come up by the ears. Make sure you're not dropping back, right? You're staying up, legs go out, circle, pull in. Again, use that pull to help you with that curl. Try to keep the curl as the arms and legs reach. Circle, pull in. 3 more. 2. And last one. And in. Now lengthen those legs up to the ceiling. Grab onto your right calf. Lower your left leg. And switch. 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 Again, this is the flow too, so we're doing this series without stopping, but if you need to, you can go ahead and pause or just take your head and shoulders down to the mat. Right, left, one more, right and left, and then lift. We'll bend the knees in, lower the head and shoulders down to place the hands behind the head. So I want the elbows to touch the floor. Just a good guide. So you keep the elbows that wide as you take the head and shoulders up off the mat. And then you're going to flex to lower, point to lift. Flex to lower, point to lift. And 3, 2, last one. The knees come in, going into the crisscross. Right knee comes in, left leg lengthens out on the diagonal, rotate right, switch left. Start slow. Left, right, left. One more slow. Then double time. Looking back. Last set. Knees in and resting down. All right, go ahead and lengthen your legs out onto the floor. Stretch your arms up. Give your abs a stretch. And then we'll circle those arms. Grab onto the back of the thighs and rock yourself all the way up. Separate the legs the width of the mat. I like to make sure my heels are on the mat. Arms reach forward. We're going to lift up nice and tall. We have that imaginary wall behind us. Ribs lifted up away from the hips. We're going to nod the chin towards the chest. Peel away from that imaginary wall. Inhale here for the expansion of the ribs. And then exhale, lengthen all the way up tall. Inhale, grow tall from the ribs, not the shoulders. And then peel away. Inhale. And exhale, lengthen all the way back up. Grow tall. And contract forward. Breathe in and lengthen up. One more time, grow tall. And contract away from that wall. Breathe in and lengthen all the way up. Then the arms are opening out to a T, going into your saw. So you rotate towards me and then contract, reach towards your toe. This back arm opens, pressing back. 2, 3. And then we lengthen up. And center, and then we rotate, reach, 1, 2, 3, lengthen up, reach with that back arm, and center. Watch that you have no shifting in those heels on the floor, so you stay stable through those sits bones. No movement in the hips, and reach. So 2, 3, think of that back hip staying anchored, and center, and rotate, reach, 2, 3, lengthen up, 1 more. Exhale, 2, 3, reaching further each little pulse, and center, and rotate, and reach. Further, lengthen up, and center. All right, so we're going to draw the knees in towards your chest. Grab onto the front of your ankles. You're going to balance on your sacrum, so you're behind those sits bones. Lengthen the right leg up. So it's just an open leg rocker prep. Again, I think I've mentioned it before. We don't teach these in a class setting, but we do in a private lesson. So I'm just giving you the prep, not the full open leg rocker. Now you're going to go both legs up. And we're going to do like a little cheerleader, right? Left, and then both legs. And then we go left, right, and both legs. Hold that balance. Scoop that belly, right, left, and both legs. Try to keep it as narrow as you can. Left, scoop, right, and both. Bring the legs together. You're going to roll down. Bring the legs straight up to the ceiling. Arms are going to press by your side. Glue those legs together like they're a mermaid's tail. Circle, teardrop size circle to the right, and then to the left. I say size, but actually shape. Right, and lift. You can make it as big as you can. You are lifting those hips a little side to side, and left. Just think of kind of going around that sacrum to the right, and left. And then bend those knees in towards your chest. Give them a little hug to release through those hip flexors. And then we'll rock and roll ourselves up. I'm going to swing those legs behind you and go into our swan. So start with a little baby swan. You're going to like the hands the width of the mat, like the middle finger here is at the edge of the mat. Legs can be separated together, and then forehead touches the mat. Take a moment, tuck the pubic bone, lift the belly button up, and then roll. First, think of a marble underneath your nose. Roll that marble away just to see the edge of your mat, and then lift up just a few inches. Draw those elbows down by your side, and then we lower back down to the forehead hits the mat. Inhale, roll the marble. Exhale, press into the palms. Draw the shoulders down, elbows down those ribs towards that waistline, and then all the way back down. And then inhale, roll up. Exhale, lift. And then all the way down. Going into our full swan. Start again with the marble rolling away. Press into the palms, lift up to your full extension. Make sure you're not lifting your chin too much. You're still looking down, keeping the length through the cervical spine, and then lower all the way down to the forehead hits the mat. Press through the heel of the hands. Draw those elbows down towards the floor and lifting up, and then all the way back down. One more here. Head rolls up. Press through the hands, lift to your extension, and then from here we're going to bend those at the hips and knees and go into a rest position. All right, going back out onto the floor. Bring those elbows underneath your shoulders. Press the palms into the floor. Bring your inner thighs together. Now your pubic bone is barely lifted. Your hip bones are off of the mat. Belly button's up. And then we're going to single leg kick. So you're going to squeeze, squeeze, and extend. Then switch. 2 inhales. Exhale, press. Squeeze, squeeze. And left. Squeeze, squeeze. And press. 1 more each side. And then we'll lower all the way down for a double leg kick. So I'm going to lower my left cheek to the mat. So I'm looking at the camera. And then you're going to interlace your fingers, place them on the low part of your back, and then open those elbows out to the side. All right. And now double leg kick. We pull 2, 3, then reach down the thighs, lift the chest. And then you're going to lower your right cheek to the mat and pull 2, 3, and lift. Really extend that spine and pull 2, 3. Squeeze your heels toward your seat and lift. Open those shoulders, open that chest. Pull 2, 3, and reach. 1 more each side. Pull 2, 3, and reach. And pull 2, 3, and reach. And release those arms. Place your hands by your shoulders. Push back into a rest position. All right, moving on. All right, so next we're going to go into our neck pull. I'm just going to do a modified one. Again, it's pretty intense. So we're going to start with just sitting up on top of those sits bones. Your legs will be together, hands behind the head, and we'll start by just hinging back. So it shouldn't be very far. Do you feel that ab connection? And then come back up. And then hinge back and lift. And hinge back and lift. One more hinge back and lift. And then you're going to hinge back. A little contraction. Elbows come in by your side, by your ears or by your head. And then you're going to contract up and over. Think elbows on the sides of the knees. Pulse. 2, 3. Lengthen up, opening those elbows out. 2 more. Hinge. Contract. Up and over. Imagine your ball on your thighs. 2, 3. Stack the spine. Open those elbows. And we hinge. And contract. Up and over. Then imagine your ball. Pulse. 2, 3. Lengthen up. And then lower those arms down. We're going to go onto the floor. So we're going to lower all the way down, going to our pelvic press. So scooch down just a little bit. All right, arms are pressed by your side. We're going to open the legs up. Sit one width apart. Make sure your heels are fairly close to you, right underneath your knees. Arms are reaching long by your side. Collarbones nice and open on the floor here. Press through those foot centers. So just like when we were standing, think of the big toe, fourth or fifth toe, and the center of the heels as we tuck. Just start with a little curl and then release. Feel that sway in the back. And little curl and release. And little curl and release. One more. Really open that low back and release. And then we'll tilt, press down through the feet, lift those hips all the way up, knees out over the toes, and then we soften at the chest, feel the openness through the throat, roll the ribs to the waistline, and release. And then tuck, scoop the belly, connect through the base of the buttocks, lift all the way up, opening through the front of the hips, and then think of the sternum dropping in between the shoulder blades. Roll the ribs down one at a time to the waistline and release. And then scoop. And then all the way up. Hold it here. Pulse it. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. And then lower down. One vertebrae at a time. All right, we're going to bring the feet together and then scoop the belly, tuck through the tailbone, lift all the way up. From here, extend that right leg out and lower. And then left just from the knee and lower. So keep those knees glued together like they're bolted together with a big bolt. And right or left. One more right and replace. Left reach. And replace. Squeeze those glutes. Lift those hips a little higher. Extend that right leg out. We're going to lift, flex to lower. Point lift, flex to lower. Last 2. And 1. Hold there. Bring that foot back down. Squeeze. Get your hips a little higher. Left leg reaches. Point to lift. Flex to lower. Knee to knee. Lift and lower. 2 more. Last 1. And lower, replace that foot, squeeze those hips a little higher, and then start to roll down one vertebrae at a time. All right, again, grab onto the back of the knees to assist in lifting you all the way up. All right, so spine twist. Legs will be straight out in front of you. Arms will go out to the side. Again, make sure there's no shift with those heels on the floor. We're going to go to the right or towards me. 2, 3, and center, and pulse. 2, 3, and center, and rotate. 2, 3, and center, and rotate. 2, 3. One more each side. And pulse. And lower those arms. Now I'm going to turn and face you. I'll be on my right side. So if you want to be on the same side as me, we're going to go into our side kick. So I'm going to have my elbow on the mat, ribs lifted. Hips are in line with the shoulders, and then we bring those legs forward. Start by pressing the elbow into the floor, lift those ribs up, and then we're going to go into external rotation here. We're going to lift, flex, and lower. Point, lift, flex, and lower. Make sure you feel long through both sides of the neck. You're not dropping your ear towards your shoulder. lift. Last 2 and 1. Hold it here for hot potato. 2 forward, 2 back. Inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. Last set. Legs together. All right. We're going to lower all the way down. Just adjust my little microphone so we lay all the way down. Rest your head on your arms. Bring those legs back in line. And then we're going to lift and lower. Lift the legs and lower. Last 2. 1 to hold. Flex the feet. Go on your little walk. You can use a double breath. Match the pulsing breath with the movement. Last set. Double time. Waistline lifted. Last set. Reach and lower down. All right, from here we're going to roll onto our stomachs. And then we're going to open the legs the width of the mat. Open the arms as well. And then we're going to go into first our Superman. So lift all 4 limbs off the floor. Use the belly and then lower down. Reach. 2 more. So stay looking down at the floor. Back of the neck stays long. Slow swimming. Keeping the forehead down. Right arm, left leg. Switch. Reach. Fingers and toes all positionally. And switch. Reach. And switch. And then we'll lift and hold. And then we'll still go into that swimming, going a little faster. Using that double breath. Squeezing up from the glutes to lifting your belly button off the floor. Last set. Reach and lower down. All right, hands by the shoulders. We'll go into that rest position for a moment. Again, you can always go into a cat-cow if that feels better for you, maybe around the spine, a little higher. And then we switch sides. So again, I'll turn towards the camera. I'll be on my left side here, lining the elbow and hip with the back edge of the mat. Setting myself up with those rib cages up off the floor, and then the toes come forward. And then focusing on those obliques, we go into that external rotation. And now we lift, flex to lower. Point lift, flex to lower. Each time you lower the leg, think lift your ribs a little higher. 3, 2, and 1. And then we hold. And now you're going to tap forward and back. Inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. Last set. Bring the legs together. Bring them back in line. Lower yourself all the way down. For walking on this side, we start with just lifting the legs and lowering. This front arm is here, supporting. Press your other arm into the floor. Engage through that lat. Lift and lower. 2 and 1 to hold. Flex those feet, and then we walk. Last set, little faster. Last set, reach and lower down. Back onto your tummies. We're going to place one hand on top of the other, rest your forehead. You're going to go into a little external rotation here. Lift the legs, squeeze through the glutes, belly buttons up off the floor. Make sure your shoulders are down the back, no tension. And the neck and shoulders, tap those heels together. Last set. Then we're going to go fast. Last set. And then lower. Again, place your hands next to your shoulders. And that's just round through the spine. Let's go into a little cat and cow. Cat, scoop through the belly, round through the shoulders, and sway the back. And then scoop. And sway the back. All right, so I'm going to have a seat, swing your legs forward. And then we're going to have your hands behind you. So you can kind of play with this. You play with the placement of your fingers. They can be back to the side. Doesn't really matter. You're just using them far behind you for support. And then we're going to lift the legs. So just like in the corkscrew, you're making teardrop size circles. Okay? So we go down, around, and up, and left, right, harder than it looks, right, and left, one more, right, and left, and we did it. Okay, so from here, we're going to go into a leg pull front. So what we're going to do, again, hands will be behind you. They're just going to come a little bit closer to you. Place your feet on the floor. We're going to start by just lifting those hips and then lower down. So that's the movement, lifting those hips and lower down. Lift and lower. One more, lift and lower. Staying there if you'd like. Otherwise, we lengthen the legs all the way out, okay? So you're going to point through the feet, scoop through the belly, lift all the way up. Again, chest is shining up towards the ceiling. And then you're going to flex the feet, think fold at the hips, and then have a seat. I like to come up just to give my wrists a little break. And then back, scoop the belly, point through the feet, squeeze those inner thighs, present your chest to the ceiling, and then flex and release. And then place the heel of the hands, point through the feet, scoop the belly, lift all the way up, and then flex the feet and lower. All right, moving on to leg pull in the opposite direction, okay? So this one is where we test your coordination of your right and left. So you'll be in a plank position, okay? And then you're going to point through your right foot, flex point the left, and then replace. And left foot points, flex point right, and replace. Right, flex point left, and replace. Left, and replace. Right, flex point, replace. Left, flex point, and replace. One more, and replace. Left, flex point, and replace. Let's bend those knees, and then sit back towards your heels. Let's flip the palms a little just to stretch through our lats and through our wrists. Rest your forehead on the mat. Taking a nice deep breath. And then coming all the way up. All right. So we're going to do a little bit of the side bend. So we're going to have you'll face me, so this is my right arm, so you guys get to choose. And then your legs are going to be, so the top leg's going to be forward, bottom foot behind, and then you're going to reach your arms. So you're looking out over those fingers. We're going to be lifting the hips and side bending over, okay? So we lift the hips and side bend towards the floor. And then lift and lower back down. Reach out, lift the hips, side bend. Feel that hip reach to the ceiling, and then lower back down. One more, lift the hips, side bend, look at your fingers on the floor, and then lift and lower down. All right, and then switching sides. We're maybe swinging back and forth a couple times, just so you know. All right, so we have that left hand down. Again, right foot, or your top leg is forward, bottom foot is behind, and then reach those arms, look behind or beyond your fingertips, and then reach out, lift the hips, side bend, look at the floor, and then lift to the ceiling, and lower back down. Reach out to come up, lift the hip, side bend, lift, and lower down. Just one more. Lift up, side bend, lift, and lower down. Now we're going to swing and do the twist. So just give you a break from side to side for your wrists. Right, this time you'll have your knees a little bit more bent into you, reaching that arm up. You're going to pike up this time. It's a little more pike than side bend. And then you're going to be rotating, looking under your arm, reaching behind you. And then you'll lower back down to the floor. Again, we're just going to do 3 here. We lift the hips like a pike, swivel, and reach under that arm. And lower back down, and lift up, and swivel, and lower back down. Switching sides one more time. All right, so again, legs are a little bit more bent on this side or on this exercise, reach that arm. We're going to lift those hips into a pike, swivel on those feet, and reach under your arm. Actually feels like a nice little stretch here while we're still working those obliques and lats. And then lower back down. And then up and twist. Think thread the needle and lower down. One more up and swivel and lower back down. All right, you've done awesome so far. We just have 2 more exercises before we're finished. So we're going to go onto your tummies again. And then again, if this is too much for you, then don't grab onto your feet and just reach down and think of like that double leg kick. But otherwise, if you're game, we're going to grab onto your ankles like so. Let's take a moment here, really open through those collarbones, get the shoulder blades down the back, and then scoop through the belly. What you're going to do is push into the feet to lift the chest. And then release. Push the feet into the hands to lift you up. Squeeze your glutes and lower down. And lift. And lower down. One more, press and lift. And lower down. Now this one takes a little bit of momentum to get you started, but we're going to do the rocking, okay? So you're going to lift, press, and then rock forward. Keep pressing your feet into your hands, rocking from your ribs to your pubic bone. 2 and 1 and releasing. All right, sit back into, let's go again into that cat-cow. Round through those shoulders, tuck through the tailbone, press the heel of the hands into the floor, and then let's sway the back, opening those sits bones and that chest, and then scoop. All right, so we're going to get ready for our Pilates push-ups. We're going to do 3 sets, and then we'll be all done. So we're going to start by just walking ourselves back, finding our Pilates ball. Little pulses here. Lower the heels, and then lift up. Pulse. And then you're going to roll all the way up. All right, so now we're going to roll away from an imaginary wall. You're going to walk out. 4 steps, right, left, and then find that plank. 4 deep breaths. You can do 4 push-ups if you'd like. 2, I'm not a push-up girl, and 1, and then lift those hips, and then use the opposite arm to walk you back. Left, right, and then slowly roll all the way up. And then again, diving down, away from an imaginary wall. Walk out with that opposite arm, left, right, lower down to that plank position and breathe. 3, 2, and 1. Lift those hips, walk it back, right, left, rounding all the way back up. 1 more set, diving down and walk it out. You choose your non-dominant arm to walk you back out, right, left, lower those hips. One more deep breath. Lift those hips. Let's hold you here for a little stretch. Open the feet just a little. Bring your chest a little bit more towards your thighs, looking at your toes. Bend the right knee. Try to lower that left heel. And then lift. One more, stretching out through those calves. Lift those heels and lower, and then walk yourself back. Left, right. Let's pause here. Open the feet a little bit wider. Grab onto your elbows. Take a little pulse towards the floor, scooping through the belly, and then let's take a little swing side to side, stretching out the back of those legs, those hamstrings, hips a little, and then shake your head no more, and then nod your chin towards your chest. This is challenging and fun, and then release those arms, soften the knees, let those arms drape as you slowly roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. All right, lift those arms up And release the fingers. Let's take a little stretch back for those abs. And then release those arms. Give yourself a great big hand. I know I broke a sweat. Hope you enjoyed your Flow 2 class today. Thank you very much. See you soon.